Dave Terry. Hope you've been enjoying my videos, and I'm having a blast making them for you. And like I said in the beginning, I'm not going to show you everything. My goal basically is to teach you how to play from a beginner level up to at least halfway decent or proficient anyway, and anything really beyond that you want to learn, there's tons of other videos, and or feel free to message me or contact me through Google or YouTube, and I'll be glad to produce videos to show you certain things that you may want to know. But like I said, I'm not gonna show you everything that I know or everything that there is to know, and that's just simply because it would take me years and years to produce videos to cover everything. So, and you know, I'm only planning on doing a few videos, and I think this is now video number 7 or 8. I think, I'm not sure. I've lost count now because I've done a few. So but anyway, so you've practiced up on everything that I've showed you so far, and hope I haven't been too hard on you. But but get ready, because this video we're going to get a little bit harder. We're going to make it a little bit more complicated. And so far, all this time, I've told you to forget about everything in your drum kit except your snare drum, your kick drum, and your hi-hat. And I know a lot of you are probably wondering, well, all this is great, but when are we going to get to the other stuff? I got all these other parts in my drum kit, and I want to throw them all in. I want to use everything. And so today we are finally going to throw in some toms, and we're going to use our crash cymbals and a ride cymbal, and we're going to talk about transitioning from one thing to another. And transition is important when you're a drummer, because you got to do it quickly, and I'm going to show you how to do that. And also, before we get started, I want to talk about the proper way to hit your cymbals and your drum heads with your stick. And so let's talk about that for a second. Alright, so this is my ride cymbal in my kit, which, as far as what I'm going to explain to you now, I'm just using this ride cymbal as an example, but you'll do the same thing that I'm going to show you now with your crash cymbals or any other cymbal in your kit. So if you notice the ride cymbal, at this part where it actually mounts to your stand, you'll see this little bevel here is also called the bail of the cymbal. And this is called the bail, and let me just tell you that this cymbal from this point out to the end makes different sounds. And this is what I mean by that. This part, like I said, is called the bail, and it's called the bail not only because it's shaped more or less like a bell, but when you tap it, it's kind of a bell sound. Now, as you go from the inside out or the outside in, you'll notice a difference in the sound of your cymbal. And so from your bell, which is probably the lowest tone that the cymbal will produce, and then as you come out, you'll notice as you come farther out to the edge of the cymbal that it produces a higher tone or a glassier sound. So let me do that again, just in reverse. All right, see, you hear how it kind of gets darker as you go. So, and just remember that with your cymbal, that, you know, your cymbal makes a lot of different sounds depending on where you hit it. And the same way with your crash cymbals, you can use a crash cymbal actually as a ride. It's out of camera view, but I'll try that so you can hear it. Okay, so that was a crash cymbal. So anyway, that's different tones that a cymbal makes, or different sounds that a cymbal makes. And now I want to show you the proper way to hit your cymbal. Of course, a ride cymbal more or less, anytime you're using a ride cymbal, you're just going to be pinging it. And so you're just going to be hitting it like this. And a ride cymbal, if you, the way I'm using it is I'm kind of just at a downward angle, hitting it pretty much about center, usually is where you can almost, if you see my stick marks, where I usually hit it at, but just using the tip of the stick to hit it. Now if you want to make your ride cymbal actually ride or make a continuous note in addition to the ping, you can hit it with the edge of your stick and hit, what I do is try to get my stick at an angle to where the tip of the stick is hitting the cymbal along with the end of the stick itself, so it's kind of like. Alright, now a lot of people will note, and I used to have this problem back in my younger days. Back in the 80s I played in a heavy metal band, and I was constantly chipping and breaking sticks. I broke cymbals, you name it. And you know, back in the 80s, don't ask why, but it was like the cool thing for drummers to do was to have their crash cymbals mounted really high above their heads. And you know, the thing that I found was, you know, back then it was considered to be that it looked cool, but it just flat wore me out. So the way my crash cymbals are mounted now, if you can tell, my ride cymbal here, I've got mounted, it's not more than 6 inches above my kick drum, and my crash cymbals are actually mounted as I'm sitting on my drum throne. They're probably about neck or chest level with me, so they're actually below. I'm actually looking down at my crash cymbals. Now you don't want your crash cymbals too low, and let me show you why. You got to find the right positioning for your crash cymbals, and here's why. Alright, when you hit your crash cymbals, if your cymbals are mounted way too high, then you end up hitting your stick against your crash cymbals at this sort of angle or this sort of angle, and what that does is that's going to chip away your sticks. You'll break your sticks, and you can even damage your cymbals. Believe me, I have cracked cymbals, and you wonder how do you crack a brass cymbal with a wooden stick. Believe me, it can be done. I've done it. So if your cymbal is mounted too low, then you're hitting it at this kind of angle, and that's not going to produce a very good sound at all. And not only that, but you can still damage your cymbal hitting it this way, as far as crash cymbals go, and you'll break the tip off your stick in a heartbeat. So the proper way to hit your, or the proper angle to hit your crash cymbal would be just like this. Your stick against the surface of the cymbal, more or less 25-30 degrees or so, just like this. And as you hit the cymbal, you don't want to hit it straight on, and don't hit it straight on and follow completely through with it. What you want to do is kind of glance. You want to glance off the cymbal. So you hit the cymbal at this sort of angle, and you don't go straight through the cymbal or straight towards the cymbal. You come from the side and you hit the cymbal like this. You glance. So let me show you how that looks with a crash cymbal. Now, like I said, this crash cymbal is it's lower than chin level for me, and I've got it actually angled towards me just very slightly. You know, you don't need to have your cymbals perfectly flat. Angle them back towards you slightly, so you should be able to look at the top of the cymbal and see your cymbal at an angle, so that you can see the whole top of the cymbal. You shouldn't even, it should be positioned where you're not even looking at, you can't even see the bottom of the cymbal. So as you hit your crash cymbal, like I said, at about this kind of angle, and you don't go straight through the cymbal, you go at it at an angle, you glance off of it, so it's like this. Alright, Alright, so I hope that makes sense to you. And like I said, that by doing it that way, you will be able to produce the proper sound that your cymbal is supposed to make, and your cymbals will last a lot longer, and so will your sticks. So anyway, just get used to hitting your cymbals that way. And like I said, with any cymbal, just remember that your cymbal, no matter, or depending on where you hit it, makes different sounds. All right, and so if you can see this in the video, I'm not sure exactly how well, but same thing with drum heads. Always hit your drum heads to get the proper sound from your drum. Always try to hit your drum head with the tip of your stick in the very center of the drum. Okay? Always hit the very center. But now, if you hit in different areas of the drum head, it'll produce different sounds. But the best sound that you get from your drum, which takes all of the overtone, is going to be hitting it in the center of the drum. As you go out towards the rim of the drum, it just gets flatter. You see what I mean? All right, so now, and almost like your cymbal, when you're hitting your drums, and this goes especially for a snare drum, if you hit your drum at a downward angle, then that's fine, but you will get over time, you'll get little dimples or divots or something in your drum head. But hit your drum kind of this angle. The way I've got this now, tip is on the center of the drum head, and there's probably 2 fingers between the stick and the rim of the drum. So, and to me, I get the best sound that way, hitting it that way. And then if you lower it down, and that's what they call rim shot, is when you're actually hitting the head and you're tapping the rim lightly as you're doing that. So it's kind of like, if you can hear that. Alright, so like I said, different angles from your stick, different positions of your drum head provide you different sounds. So let's move on and talk about bounce, and let me show you some other cool things before we move on. Alright, so let's talk about bouncing your drumsticks, or I know you've probably heard of a snare roll, or you've heard a snare roll, and you wonder how you accomplish that. Alright, what you want to do is, first of all, find the balancing point of your sticks. And what I mean is, don't hold your sticks down at the very end like this. Find a point to where your sticks are balanced well in your hand. Now, I saw another video on YouTube where a guy was talking about the proper way to hold your drumstick and how to accomplish that. And anyway, as far as I'm concerned, the proper way to hold your drumstick is a way you feel comfortable with. I know they say there's a right way and there's a wrong way, but as long as it feels comfortable in your hand, and you can play well. If you're constantly dropping your drumsticks, you may want to reevaluate the way you're holding your stick, or try another position or something. But anyway, so what you want to do, if you see I'm holding this stick and I'm just holding it kind of lightly between my index finger and my thumb, okay, and my other 3 fingers, I'm not even really holding the stick with, I'm just using them to kind of give it some balance. So, and what you're going to do is, when you come down with your stick, if you're holding your stick tightly, then when you hit the drum, there's no bounce. So find that balancing point, hold the stick very lightly, and like I said, you're only holding it with your thumb and your index finger. Use the other 3 fingers just to balance it. And all you want to do is this. When the tip of that, and like I said, use the very center of the drum head, because that's where you're going to get the most of your bounce anyway. So, all right. So what you do is, when that stick comes down, you are going to lift the back of it slightly, but at the same time, you're going to hit it with these fingers, with your back fingers. So what you're doing is like this. See that? So it's really... So you let the stick bounce, and instead of... And if you notice, my hands are not moving much at all. I mean, I'm not doing this motion. You can see my hands in the video the whole time. Okay, so there you go. So just work on that. I mean, that's a technique that you're going to have to work on for quite a while to perfect that. And you can do that with any drum in your kit. And now your snare head really is, as far from what I can tell you, your snare head usually is a little tighter than most of your tom heads. The way I tune mine, my tom heads are a little bit looser, but so you can get the best bounce really out of your snare drum. All right, so practice that, and you don't have to worry about that as far as tonight's practice goes, but just work on that, and that's something you can just play around with. And so now we're going to get busy actually playing some stuff and using our toms and crash cymbals. So here we go. All right, so your kit is probably not like my kit. I've got a snare, I've got one mounted tom, I've got 2 floor toms, kick drum, and you can't see my other crash cymbal. It's out of the picture frame, I think, but I've got 2 crash, and then I've got a ride and my hi-hat. So more than likely your kit, like most standard kits, is kick drum. You probably have 2 mounted toms, 1 floor tom, and then your snare. You may have one, at least I hope you have at least 1 crash cymbal. You may or may not have a ride cymbal. If you don't, just use the bell of your crash cymbal as your ride. It is perfectly fine. So, but what I want to do is we're going to throw in the toms, and I'm just going to play this beat, and you just follow along with me. And I'm going to go real slow, and it's just like I did before, 4 count on the hi-hat, and it's just a 1-2 beat, just 1 kick, 1 snare. Okay, so, and I'll start that out for you. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, now let's do the same beat, exactly the same, only we're going to do 8 count on the hi-hat, so it's going to be like this. It's going to be 1, 2, All right, now let's do the same thing, except after each tom roll, we're going to transition to the ride cymbal, and then from the ride cymbal back to the hi-hat. And let me show you what I mean by that. Sorry. Alright, so work on that. And in the meantime, as you're working on that, let me show you another little trick when you hit your crash cymbals. Just ways to change that up a little bit is you hit your crash cymbals. You see what I mean about glancing off your crash cymbal and the angle that you hit it with your stick. But try this little trick as you're playing. I want you to do this. Instantly when you hit your crash cymbal, I want you to reach up and grab it. And you can, a lot of times I'll use my left hand, but you can use the same hand that you strike the cymbal with, whichever way you feel more comfortable. But it's kind of like this. So let's implement that into the same beat that we just did. Okay? Now let's do transition one more time from hi-hat to the ride cymbal. And I'm just going to vary it and just go every other time, so just follow me, okay? Oh, and let's do this beat. Alright, so let me do that one more time for you slowly, and then we'll do it one more time faster, okay? 2, 3, 4. Alright, so now let's do it a little bit faster. Hold on. Alright, so there you go. Work on all that. Just remember your stick angle, cymbal technique, different sounds with your cymbals, how to hit your head, how to stop your cymbal, and work on your tom rolls, or paradiddles as they call it in the real drum world. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that video, and see you next time. We're going to beef it on up again. So have a good one. See you.